Many business owners think that employee handbook is only for big companies. But when the rules are unclear, culture becomes inconsistent and problems become personal. So today, we're going to talk about the importance of an employee handbook and what it should it contain, how to enforce it fairly. So Dennis, let's get into it.
Yes, but before we start, how are you?
Yes, I'm good. I'm good. It's been a while. And how are you?
Yeah, I'm very good. It's been a while. We are busy with a lot of in-person workshops, upcoming certifications, and what have you. So if you want to check out our workshops and trainings, feel free to check out the links in the description below. All
Yes.
right.
So, yeah. For our first question, why is an employee handbook important for growing businesses?
Yes, because clarity prevents conflict. No, because as you
Mhm.
know, employees they have a lot of questions.
Yes.
They should be guided from the start. When you onboard them, they should always be guided and not confused about many things in the
Mhm.
business, diba? So the key in onboarding kasi is you are integrating a third party individual into your organization.
Yes.
All right. Now, if you don't have an employee handbook, everything becomes or everything is dependent on the person who's orienting the new hire.
Mm-mm.
Diba, walang standards. No? So now, employees rely lang on assumption. Kasi wala silang nakikita or binabasa.
Correct.
Different interpretations, in different execution of trainings. So, inconsistent ang result. Diba?
Mm-mm.
So, a handbook or an employee handbook gives you a clear reference point. No?
Mm-mm.
So, it protects the business, it guides the employees, and reduce subjective or emotional decision making. Now, the bigger the team gets, then the more dangerous na wala kang written rules sa company, di ba?
Yes, that's powerful, no?
Mhm.
Many people think culture is just vibes, but
Right.
structure creates culture too.
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
Definitely.
for our next question, what are the typical components of a good employee handbook?
Okay, so actually, you'll find a lot of templates
Mm.
online when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to employee handbook. Templates or ChatGPT, AI, etc.
True.
Usual format or structure of a handbook. You have to be clear in your company mission. Ano ba yung purpose mo?
Mm-mm.
Or anong purpose ng business? What are the values or core values? And where do you see yourself 5, 10 years from now as a company? The vision. So it's
Yes.
important na may ganun ka so that the people are guided. Where are you going and what is your purpose more than profits?
Yes.
Or more than money, di ba? So it starts from there kasi yung culture, for example, starts with values, di ba? So, yun yung isa sa pinaka-important. And of course, yung usual na. Some HR policies like work hours, attendance, no,
Yes.
punctuality, leave policies, compensation and payroll guidelines, what are the benefits
Yes.
that the company provides, what is the performance expectations, like how frequent is your performance evaluation, what is the disciplinary process if there are misaligned behaviors, no? And then also safety rules,
Yes.
yung mga data privacy, paano ginagamit ang mga laptops
Yes,
or
of
mga
course.
equipment, di ba? The use of company properties and
Yes.
systems. And then, last but not the least, ano yung process ng resignations, clearance systems, and exiting the company. No? So, the goal really is not to make it long. No? The goal is to make expectations clear.
Yes.
Diba? So, kahit a short handbook will do, and then you just evolve it over time.
I see. That's a great reminder, no? Yeah, useful bits impressive. Yes. Okay, so let's move on to our next question. What should be included in a code of conduct?
Right. So, a code of conduct focuses on behavior. These are employee behaviors. Kasi, as you know, iba-iba ang culture ng mga company, iba-iba ang behaviors ng mga tao. Diba?
Yes.
So, ideally, meron kang code of conduct para lahat or align ang isang organization with their behaviors, which is aligned with the values.
Yes.
Diba? Yung values kasi, yun ang key reference point for an organization para magkaroon ng magandang culture. No? So, ano ba yun? Ano ba yung laman ng code of conduct? So, this defines standards for yung mga professionalism, di ba? Yung respect and anti-harassment, yan. Yung honesty and integrity, again, yung values. Confidentiality, no? Conflict of interest, the use of social media,
Yes.
especially when representing the company, di ba? And handling customers and co-workers.
Yes.
So this section answers the question, how do we expect people to behave here in this company? Diba? Kasi skills can be trained, pero behavior standards must be defined and somehow enforced.
Yes, that makes sense. The code of conduct protects both performance and the culture. Yeah.
That's
So,
correct.
yeah, very insightful. So, why do many businesses struggle to enforce policies consistently?
Okay, so kasi pag wala kang handbook, ang isa sa mga cons or disadvantages is that yung execution or pag-enforce mo ng policies mo is based on or dependent on the HR head or dependent on the person assigned to enforce the policy. So, subjective yun. Most of the time, the policies are enforced based on emotions and based on the values of the person assigned, not the values of the company.
Yes.
Diba? Maybe some employees get exception kasi, mas charming siya or mas mabait, diba? So others get punished for the same issue. So then managers avoid difficult conversations until problems become serious.
Reactive.
Pagka sumasabog na, saka pa lang siya pag-uusapan. But pag inconsistent kasi yung pag-enforce ng policies natin and then yung trust ng tao drops. So policies only work when they are, number one, communicated clearly, second, documented properly, and then third is applied consistently. Diba? So, kasi more than strictness, dapat fair tayo sa mga tao.
That line is strong.
Yeah.
Wow. Fairness matters more than strictness. Nice. So, how should business owners properly enforce handbook rules and code of conduct?
It starts with education. And nangyayari yan during onboarding a new hire, di ba? So, dapat kasama yan sa the handbook orientation is part of the employee orientation. Explained by the supervisor. And also, you have to train your supervisors also to how to orient your new hires dun sa employee handbook natin and the company policies. So, for example, when issues happen, what do you do? So, for example, may nalabag siya na code of conduct, di ba? Or some employees are consistently late. No? So, how do you execute that? Your team should be, or your supervisors supported by the HR should be trained also on what to do, like how to document it properly, how to follow the due process, how to apply consistent consequences also. And I think one of the most important that I believe in is coaching and mentoring your employee.
Yes.
So that people or your employees are improving, especially if there are items to be improved. The goal really is correction first, more than discipline second. Because strong businesses, hindi naman talaga siya defined to punish people.
Yes.
Diba? These are systems so that people do not repeat problems.
So practical. Enforcement should feel professional and not personal. So, question number 6. How often should a handbook be reviewed or updated?
Quick answer there is at least annually. No, but or whenever there are big change, or whenever there are big changes or significant changes in the business. Like in my case, when I started the business, we were just 5 people. At the time, having an employee handbook is, ideally you should have an employee handbook as early as that level stage of your business. No? But at the time, we don't have one. But as the company grows, it's really a different dynamic. If you have 10 people compared to 20, compared to 50, they are totally different dynamics. Totally different HR management. If you have, meaning the formula that you have when you are just 10 people is significantly different with the formula in managing people if you have 80 or 100 people.
Yes.
So you have to update your handbook, especially if there is a growth in headcount. If you open additional offices or branches, say if you change schedules, or say if you add remote work, or revise compensation structures, or you adapt new technologies. So every time,
so many factors.
There are significant changes in the business. The handbook should reflect kasi the reality. What is your current setup now? So if the policies are outdated, then employees stop taking them seriously. So your handbook is like a living management tool that grows, and it's not a one-time thing or one-time document.
Yes, it's so important that the handbook really grows with you. It should evolve with the business.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, everyone, this episode really shows that an employee handbook is not bureaucracy, it's clarity.
That's correct. Exactly. So when expectations are written, then culture becomes clearer. So leadership is mas fair, and conflict becomes easier to manage, yung conflict and mga grievances. The handbook doesn't really replace leadership, no.
Yes.
Pero it supports leaders and managers.
Wow. Thank you so much for your insights. And that's Digital Transformation Academy Season 10, Episode 18. And if this episodes help you rethink your HR foundations, share it with the business owner whose company is growing faster than its policies. So we'll see you with the next.
Thank you so much, Alan. And again, if you want to check out our digital courses, HR management, HR starter digital course, and upcoming HR workshops in the future, just feel free to subscribe, smash the like button, and check out the link in the below description. So, DXG Life and Business, have a great day.